This is gonna be a travel guide for Bolivia. Why Bolivia? It is always the top country that I want to visit. It's got so many good sceneries and experience. So when I think about making a travel guide, Bolivia came to the top, and I was like, well, let's make it to the top. So let's make it to the top. Just a quick note that everything that I'm going to talk about in this vlog, I will share my entire note and the mark on the Google map in the description below. So feel free to download and use it for your own travel guide. In this vlog, I am gonna talk about the sceneries, so basically the views, food of Bolivia, experience that you can have that interests me, transport, weather, and then the cost. So the first of a scenery, elephant in the room, is the Uyuni Snowflake. Anyone think about Bolivia probably think about that gigantic mirror-like lake, and it is definitely the top one bucket list of mine as well. Luckily there is a very mature tour that take you around. It's called Southwest Circuits. There is a company called Toro Tours. Apparently they are very professional. They offer 4 days trip from Tupiza to Uyuni, and that definitely includes the Uyuni Snowflake, and also that includes Laguna Colorada, which is the pink lake with the flamingos, and I feel that that's gonna be pretty cool as well. The best chance to see the wet flake is between March to April in the raining season. It is recommended by the fellow traveler Robin and Arlene that you might as well follow the 4-day trip from Tupiza to Uyuni instead of other way around to avoid the other tourists in the same direction. And the cost of a 4-day trip from their website, it's about $297 per person for 4 people max, or $210 per person for 5 people per car. How are you gonna fit 5 people in a car? But anyway, 4 people sounds a lot more comfortable to squeeze in the car, and also you get, I think, 2 person per room, other than if you get a 5-person package, all 5-person needs to be stay in the same room. Chalalan Eco Lodge. It is basically experience of the Amazon wildlife ecosystems, and also you live in their lodge, which is a sustainably built lodge. They have an option of 3-day trip, 4-day, 5-day, and 6-day trip. Costs vary from 520 USD per person, $699, $755, and $910. I think in terms of a cost to experience Amazon wildlife and ecosystem, even for 3-day trip for $520 per person, I don't think it's worth it compared to there are so many other places that you can experience the same thing for cheaper cost. If you're only in Bolivia, then yes, this might be worthwhile, but for us, we travel so many other places, so I'm pretty sure there will be other chances with a cheaper cost. So we're gonna skip that. Valle de la Luna, in English, Valley of the Moon. You see the erosion worn away the mountain, and that creates the surreal shape of the mountain. And also because the mineral content of a mountain varies from mountain to mountain, and that creates a different color and optical illusions, so I thought that would be pretty fun to see. Mulera de Diablo means devil tooth. It is a great hiking place beside the capital city, La Paz city, and once you summit to the top, you get a great view of the city too, so I thought that would be pretty cool. Next one, Green Bay. It's a swimming pool, lagoon, forest, birds, butterfly combined. Great place for tourists. At the first I look at the picture, I was like, wow, it's such a tourist place. We're not a typical tourist, but it might be a good place to visit anyway. And the price is pretty cheap. I think it's about 20 USD per entrance, so not bad for a luxury swimming pool. And then there is Tunari Peak. It's based on 5,000 above sea level. Great hiking or trekking place for a snowy mountain. It takes about 1.5 hours bus to about 4,500 meters above sea level, and then you hike for the last 500. So it's pretty good and low intensity. It only takes about 2 hours. Along the way you can see llama, alpaca, sheep as well, so great place for good fun. A statue of Jesus Christ. It's a 33-meter huge statue in Cochabamba. So if you're in the town, you might as well go visit. It's a great travel place, get some good content footage as well. The Museum of Beauty. It is a exhibition of the art of precious minerals like gold, silver, and also gemstone from Bolivia. Plaza 25 de Mayo. It is a landmark plaza in Sucre. I believe that's the way it's pronounced. It's got many historic buildings as well as historic structures and the statement on the structures. So it should tell a good story of Bolivia. I'm very interested to know such history of Bolivia. Isla, anyway, it's another corner of the Stowflate. You get to see a cactus and the Stowflate combined. Tunupa volcano. It is another good track combined with a rainbow mountain, and there's lake, Stowflate as well. Anguas Sermo de Plopec. I'm not really good at Spanish, just so you know. It's a hot spring place surrounded by nature, lake, mountain, and animals. According to TripAdvisor's notes, you get the flamingos running around you while you're having the hot spring, and it's above 4,000 meters above sea, so it's pretty good experience. Cemetery General, a little bit horrified, yes, but it's a very cool cemetery because it combined with so many art pieces and with a creative local street art. Church of San Felipe Neri. It represents a good, beautiful architectures. Also, we can watch the city view of Sucre. Again, a good place to visit, know a little bit of history, and capture some good footage. Food-wise, I didn't find much of the popular food in Bolivia. There's a good restaurant apparently called Popular Cocina. The popular part of it is that they use local products and they source their food from the local markets, kind of like a traditional food in a high-end representation. And then their traditional dishes is called salteñas. It's a stuffed savory pastries with gravies, beef, pork, and mixed with sweet and spicy sauce, kind of like fried dumplings. It will be a different taste for sure. Experience in Bolivia. The first one, I found this really interesting. The fighting cholitas. Cholitas is what they describe their young women in Bolivia. Fighting cholitas means that kind of like a Bolivian version of woman at WWE. What's the difference of this fighting cholita is that they wear their classic outfit of a multi-layer skirt. They start these activities to reclaim the respect from a male-dominant society of the Bolivian, which is a good reason to start for. It held twice a week in El Alto. This is definitely a place that we're gonna go visit. Next is the Witches Market. It attracts a lot of curious minds. It's in La Paz, in the capital, so it's easier to visit as well. It is basically selling herbs, potions, llama factors for ritual use to curing ill bodies, ill spirits, and there are actually people using these things to do those ritual things. They call themselves Kalawaya, meaning traditional medical person. There is a good YouTube videos that I will drop in the link below if you're curious about it. A thrill death road. It is apparently ranked as the world's most dangerous road. It's in Old Yungas Road next to La Paz. What's thrilling about it is that the road is poor maintained. It's very narrow. There is no protection on the edge. Yet there are buses traveling across, mountain biking, motorbiking. A lot of people who just want to experience that. Hundreds of people die on this road, but yet it keeps tracking hundreds of thousands of other tourism, probably including me too there. My mom is watching this video, so no mom, I'm not going. Right, next one, illegal tourism place, but very popular and well known, San Pedro prison. It's in La Paz. It is illegal because it's still an active prison, but you can apparently bribe the guard, and apparently the prisoner have their own society and their rules in the prison, so you can get to experience that as well. Again, it's illegal, it's dangerous because there's only guard around the perimeter of the prison. There's no guard inside the prison. It means that the prisoners take the control of the prison. If you want to experience that, it's your own risk. But apparently there's a cheaper way to stay in the prison, live in the prison life. It's just harder to get out. So I don't see the point of experiencing that, especially you're gonna pay money for it. But again, if you want to experience that, if you're curious, take your own risk. Next, Oruro Carnival. This is apparently the largest annual celebration in Bolivia. It hosts about 10 days around the Ash Wednesday, which is 2nd of March every year. It draws around 400,000 people in that. It's gonna be massive and chaotic and fun. They have 20 hours long parade called Dance of the Devils, and at the end of the carnivals there is a waterborne fighting. You know, everyone, tourism are likely to be the main target of the waterborne fighting, so it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really fun. Coca Museum. Coca is famous for one of its production, cocaine. And a fun fact that in Bolivia they have 39,000 hectares of coca cultivations, which makes them the 3rd largest source of countries of cocaine. They are mostly exported to other Latin American countries. The local consumption is extremely low. And the name of Coca-Cola used coca leaf extraction in its products until 1903, hence the name Coca-Cola. And the Google map, the museum now shows permanently closed, probably due to COVID, but once we're there we'll go visit and see if they close. Urban Rush. It's a bungee jumping alternative. You basically scale down from a wall like the movie Mission Impossible from a 50-meter high building. It's ranked number 1 of things to do in La Paz, but to me, I don't even like bungee jumping, so why do I do Urban Rush? For people that are fan of bungee jumping, yeah, why not? Mi Teleferico, it's a cable car from the city La Paz to the mountain. You get the good view of the city at any stages of sunrise, sunset, at night, you know, anything. Once you get to the mountain, you get the city views and the surroundings, so pretty cool places, and I think it's a must visit. Transport. So there are several different ways to transport from city to city. You go rental cars, buses, taxis, and cycling. In terms of rental cars, just be aware that some of the roads in Bolivia are in the poor conditions and poor maintained. You probably want to get a 4x4 with a high clearance because of that. And most of the 4x4s are driving manually, so make sure you know how to drive manual cars. And the rental agencies only offer insurance for accident. If you got cheap windows or scratch on the bodies of the cars, you get to pay for it. Bus is relatively cheap and safe in Bolivia, although there are few incidents involve bus driver with drinking and driving. I don't know how they do that, but there's a bus company called Bolivia Hop and Peru Hop, which you get transportation between those two countries. Should be pretty good. Next one is taxi. Important things to know is that they don't have meters, which means that you get to agree on your fare prior to the trip. And then the cycling, it's very popular and an excellent way to experience Bolivia. Caution to other buses, especially the drink and driving one. Avoid the rainy season from November to April. So weather of Bolivia. There are only 2 seasons in Bolivia, apparently. Dry season from May to October and wet season from November to April. The coldest months are between June to September, and the wettest months are between December to March. The best climate to travel is apparently July to October. And be aware of high altitude. As mentioned, La Paz, their capital is world's highest capital, sitting on 3,600 meters above sea levels. And the rest of Bolivia cities are in average 4,000 meters above sea level. If you get the altitude sickness, there is a local treatment which they give you coca leaves and coca tea. There's no evidence that it will work, but that's a common advice you'll get from the local. The cost travel in Bolivia in average is about $42 per day per person. The longer you travel, the cheaper per day per person is gonna get apparently. And if you travel in a group that you can live together and eat together, it's gonna be cheaper as well. So per person, for a single traveler per month, it's roughly gonna cost $1,262. For a couple per month, it's about $2,500. In terms of accommodations, a single person in a hotel or hostel is gonna cost about $13 per night. A couple is gonna be $26 per night. There's a cheaper way of accommodation apparently. A hostel for 2 person is gonna cost about $10 per night. Food, a meal for 1 person per day is gonna cost about $13 per day. Transportation per day per traveler, it's gonna cost about $9. That combines of taxi, buses, anything else. So entertainment wise, an average per day per traveler is gonna be $15. Hot spring is gonna be $1.74. Wow, extremely cheap. Where tower hire is gonna cost you $2.90. I'll just get blow dry by wind then. Interesting fact that average daily cost, if you get scammed, robberies, and everything else, it's gonna cost you $7.70 per day. Is it per day? Per trip. Tell me it's per trip. No, daily cost. Yeah, so you get scammed, robbed, and everything like that, and an average is gonna cost you $7.70. A beer there is $1.60, a wine $2.90, a cheaper beer 90 cents. If you're gonna travel Bolivia, I do recommend download the notebook from the description below and the map as well if you're interested in visiting some of the places that I just covered. And that's it for this week's vlog. Ciao.